tonight?
Sunday. Hence chocolate Sunday.
All right, we are live.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, guys. I think some of you guys think it's easy for them to come on here. This is a Divoce-Proof club. I'm very excited about it, and I'm excited to have people who are actually willing to share their life with us here on YouTube in front of the entire world. I got 12 couples in Divoce-Proof Club. One is willing to come live. I do 12 couples every 3 months. And I have done that for the past 2 years here at Divoce-Proof Club. This is season 7, and we actually do stop divorces. Would you guys think if y'all were married, this might stop your divorce?
Yeah. luckily, we're not trying to stop a divorce. We're trying to prevent a divorce, even the conversation.
Yeah. And that's why I'm so happy y'all are here, because people get to see preventative care as well, and people who care enough to want to prevent. Like, why isn't that more people who really want to do the work up front, but maybe they think they are doing it? Do you think that most people think we are doing the work?
I think they think they have the tools already.
That you say you think they don't think they have to do any work?
I think they think that they have it already. They got it.
Like they've got it figured out.
They think we're in love. We're about to get married. That's all we need is love.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the guy on the call tonight when I said, well, why did you get married? Like, what was the purpose? And what his response was.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing. It was like, because I wanted to be with you forever.
Yeah.
Is that everybody's thought? Why are y'all getting married? Prior to this course, don't say nothing from this course. Why would you all want to get married? Like, what would be the purpose?
I think because we wanted to have a partnership that healed our generational lineage as one.
Well, y'all were closer to the purpose. When I say the purpose is growth, it sounds like you wanted to get together to grow beyond your old patterns, your old lineage.
Mm-hmm.
That is deep. Is that really it, Orlando, was for you? Or did you learn that? How did you come across that thought pattern?
Honestly, I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be happy, and I thought that having somebody by your side can like bring this happiness, because like finding happiness as a sole person alone what is much harder than doing it with somebody. So I thought, like, being married and finding somebody will bring this like other level of joy and happiness to your life that you can't access unless you have somebody. But within doing that, I thought that like not having tools, but just being yourself was enough. So I didn't really, I don't really need anything. I didn't need any tools. I just thought like, oh yeah, I'm a guy, and just being me is enough. And, you should look at me and just want to respect me and be loyal to me.
Right.
That's it.
Just because you're a guy, just because you're a great guy.
Yeah, I'm a great guy. I'm a man. So you should respect and be loyal. And I don't really need any tools to help this relationship. Just loving me is enough. And I think that's how a lot of men like go about it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about now what you're picking up here, I want, tonight we are going to use the tools. Every week we use the tools, guys. We're using up-level communication, which you can see in my background, which is a framework, the only actual communication framework written by a person of African-American descent. So there are 3 major frameworks: nonviolent communication. You've heard of that?
Yeah, we read that one.
What did you think?
I liked the observation of your own feelings. So I don't think a lot of people take the time to observe their own feelings and then to request what they need. I don't think a lot of people take that time. But the book overall is kind of very sterile, and there's a lot of just like repetitive examples that I don't really think make it easier to implement.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What did you think? Mm-hmm.
For me, it was, I don't think it really gave you the range and option to touch on all your emotions. I feel like it was a lot of suppression on what we would call like the animal and your anger emotion. And I think that all your emotions like were important. So it didn't really give me a space to like touch in on all my emotions and how to communicate all my emotions non-violently. It was more about, it kind of felt like, hey, in a perfect world, put yourself in a perfect space and then express yourself. It's like I won't always be in a perfect space in a perfect environment all the time.
Right. So there's nonviolent communication on the far left spectrum. Then there's radical honesty. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was like a formal like communication system, like nonviolent communication. I thought it would just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actual formal mode of communication that says I will say whatever the fuck I want. You know, it's like I'm radically honest, but the concern with both of those, in my view, and where up level, in my view, in my from my ego's perspective, is the best because they don't make you determine who is speaking.
Right.
So I'm being radically honest with you, and I think I'm telling the what?
The truth, knowing that there's more than one truth and that someone can feel totally different from you, and that's valid. Yeah.
And not me knowing myself that I'm not sharing the truth. I think I'm sharing the truth. That is a problem. That's the centrifugal communication problem.
Yeah.
And that no one in either of those segments identified this yet. And little old me, a Black girl from Detroit, has come up with up-level communication. I just think I'm a fabulous being. I love it. And I love that you all are going to show us how it works tonight. You're going to vent. Last week, we heard a nice, hefty vent from Sister Mila, and Mila went on in, and we're proud of that you were vulnerable enough to do that. Now let me show everybody, because they're probably like, if they're watching for the first time, they're saying, what exactly is this? What is a vent? And we have a very specific way. You're looking at the folder right now that I use for my class. Got that Virgo rising. Everything is neat in here. And everything is tailored and measured. So when we talk about an up-level vent, we're talking about a venting person and a witness. Who is going to be the venting person tonight? And who is going to be the witness? Yes. So they know their role in the conversation. That's first. Next, he's going to set up a container. So let's hear you do all steps of the up-level container and set up your container. Oh, Mila, I meant to tell you that last week. Jamilah, I felt like, oh my gosh, I should have stopped her and made her set up a tighter container.
How do you set up a tighter container?
Isn't that a good question? So when I really am about to go off, for real, and I really have a dark vent, I'm at a 10, I'm going to set up a real big container. Like, you've really done nothing wrong. I know that I'm crazy right now. Like, I feel like I could just explode. Like, I really want to hit you, but I know that that's wrong. And I know that this is going to be a big vent. You have done nothing wrong. I know that this is just my ego lying. Okay. Are you okay with this? Do you have space for it? It's bigger. You see what I'm saying?
You give more emphasis on the fact that you know it's nobody's fault. You know that I'm here and this is not your responsibility.
Yes. Not just going through it real fast. Like, nobody's doing anything wrong. This is just my ego speaking. I'm at level 10. Are you ready? Well, I really make a bigger container if the vent is bigger. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that y'all daughter that y'all looking at?
No, child, he got the game on.
Oh, I was like, what's going on? Because I was thinking, if that's your daughter, are you teaching her yet? Okay. So
no, I want to know.
But we are.
I feel like this is the part that I'm in right now. I mean, wait, about like learning this program is that I'm seeing it come at, like, I'm seeing where it would be useful in like my relationships, like my business partner, like my kid, and now I'm like, okay, well, how do I enforce this in a container with someone who doesn't know it yet? And then and I think that's sometimes the hardest thing, learning something new and then being strong enough to implement it into new relationships and new areas of your life, and like avoid going back into like old patterns and saying, listen, I know we have a lot to get through right now, but this is what I learned and I think this would be beneficial, and like bringing these types of conversations to new spaces, because I love it and I think it's important, but I think sometimes when feelings are super heightened, it's harder to have the wherewithal to be like, okay, we're going to do this new form of communication.
Yeah.
My new teacher, Kenya, taught me something new. Listen to me. Listen up, guys.
No, it's so hard to, implement it with people who haven't known it yet in the moment. It would have to be like, these are the ways I have this as my onboarding for my company. Like all of my coders in Nairobi, they vent because from the beginning of our relationship, this was in their employee handbook. So I understand what you're saying, but yes.
The employee handbook of my friends and family.
Yes. I taught my family. I use Thanksgivings to do it. Christmas is to do it when nobody's arguing. Hey, we're going to play this game. And that's how we do it.
Yeah.
I need to make cards, don't I?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that would be a good one. And,
Ah.
and you know, China, you can make cards 1,000 decks for the low.
I'm gonna do that, and then you put out one when it's time. This is the next. Which one do you want? Oh, I'm gonna do it. Okay. All right. So let's hear your setup. You're gonna set up your up level container. Let's see how it's done, babe.
Can I vent to you right now?
Sure.
Yes, this is my.
Can you hold space for my vent?
Can I hold space? Can you hold space for my vent right now?
Yes.
Okay, this is my ego speaking. I'm at about a level 4. Nobody's done anything wrong. And I just want to let you know that it's really annoying. And
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on just a second. She's going to get prepared by getting a piece of paper and a pen. She's going to take notes.
You didn't also say who's speaking and what level you're at. You
I
said
said ego and a 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so your ego is speaking. You're at a level 4. She's ready to hold space.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
It's been really annoying and an adjustment of just how fucking friendly you are. You don't have to be all up in everybody's face, make a friend everywhere. And it's been challenging to watch you and feel like you don't have good discernment in choosing who your friends are. Like everybody just has access to you. I think that's been one of my least attractive traits when it comes to you. Just feeling like everybody has access to you and everybody can kind of like come in and just infiltrate. And because of that access to you, it kind of makes it feel like they had access to me. And I just don't think that, I don't necessarily like feeling like anybody can just be able to come in and touch us and touch our energy. And I feel like you let people in that don't need to be there. Yeah, that is my bet.
Thank you for venting. How can I soothe you?
Can you ask me open-ended question?
Do you mentioned that my friendliness is the least attractive thing about me? Did you always, was that something you always felt, or is this a feeling that developed recently?
Yes, no question.
Okay, well.
How has this feeling, how has this feeling that you're feeling it?
We can't hear you, baby.
You know I'm not good at the fucking open-ended questions. How
now hold on. Did you ask him an open-ended question?
He said it was yes or no.
Soothing. I asked her if she can ask me an open-ended question.
And then
okay.
That you mentioned that this is your least favorite trait about me. Have you always felt that way, or is this something that developed recently? So I guess that is a yes or no question. So,
yeah, just ask him why he feels that way, or what do you want to know about it?
Yeah, why do you feel this way? Is this like an overall arching belief, or is this in a specific situation that you feel this way?
Okay.
This isn't an overarching belief. Like I said, it's really just a protection thing where I don't want to see you feel hurt or feel like somebody got to you that wasn't even that important. You can be sensitive, empathetic, and have a lot of feelings towards people, especially how they treat and act towards you. And I don't want anybody to have that kind of access to you where they can make you feel away or make you feel any other emotion other than good. And so I don't like seeing that. And another part of that is after they do something that you don't like, you're gonna come complain back to me, and I don't really like hearing complaining.
Okay, how does it make you feel? Thank you for sharing. Where are you at now?
I am down to a two.
Okay, how
Nice.
does it soothe you further?
Can you just give me a hug and a kiss?
Yes.
Ooh.
How are you feeling now?
I am down to a zero.
Good.
Wonderful. That was a quickie. Ah, I love quickies.
This,
So what
uh,
did you say?
I was gonna say this one really stood out to me because after I learned about proclivity, I was okay. Like I used to really feel a way about that, her friendliness. And then after a while, I got to a point where it got kind of manageable with me. Like
You realize you're fucking friendly too?
so that I was like
Well,
that. It
let's
was
let's let's walk them slowly
yeah.
into the concept because I
Mhm.
think that they're hearing what you're saying like, wow, I do that too.
Yeah,
But I don't know that everybody watching would understand what the word proclivity means. So
yeah,
let's pull up one of your charts. You don't have one here yet, right? No.
No, he did. He had one to the left. The
Oh,
first, it was ours. It's both of ours, but his is on there.
oh, okay. Is this it right here?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
So these are the next steps when
yeah,
you are processing. When we move from up level, and again, all of this is available in my book, Up Level Communication, which is sort of a jokey book because you're not going to read this book and really do it, but you can understand the process. Okay. Doing it is what they're doing. We're doing it in community. So, Orlando, is this on your list already? This is a list of Orlando's triggers from our club. Is this on your list already?
no, not yet. We could put it on though.
All right. So, tell me the trigger again.
Friendliness.
Me specifically being too friendly,
Yep.
which is honestly triggering for me.
Oh, good. Then you'll countervent in a bit.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna put this one up higher so that we can actually we'll leave it down here. So these are patterns, proclivities, or potentials. These are three types of reflections that we use here with our tool, the three-way mirror. So in this second slot, you're gonna tell us that you think this is a proclivity.
Yeah.
So can you explain to anybody who might not understand what is a proclivity?
Proclivity is when you feel away or you're angry about somebody else doing something that you yourself also portray and do.
Yes, most psychologists call this projection, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my proclivity, well, in this is that I am also friendly as hell. And I realized, like I was saying, when I realized what proclivity is, I thought about this one specifically, and I realized where it stemmed from, that I was never the priority, or got the most attention in my house from my mom, because any attention that came to me always was associated or reverted back to her being all into my dad. So I never felt like prioritized. So now I've grown to be a person that really likes attention from the people that I like it from. And when Mila is giving somebody else attention, I getting my feelings about it because I like the attention and I like to feel prioritized. So it's not necessarily her friendliness that bothers me, is that I'm not getting the attention that I want at the moment that I want it.
So this is a proclivity and a pattern.
Yes, a proclivity and a pattern.
Nice. Look at that.
That's smart.
Double whammy.
Yeah,
Double header. All
yeah.
right. And
That's what I'm
so
realizing.
go, go ahead. You just realized that?
Yeah, no, I was saying I realized that, and I was able to align it with proclivity when we learned it a week ago. And so now, like, understanding and explaining my feelings on things have become a lot easier and a lot better, with knowing or having the knowledge of these things.
Wow. I am so happy to hear that because, it used to be that Jamila's doing something
Yeah.
and she's doing this and I have to stop her from doing it. So now what is it? Where's the focus and energy?
Um, the focus and energy is uh, loving her for loving people. I would, yeah, acceptance. And I would, I kind of want, I do know that I actually want my person to be a nice and kind person. And usually the nice and kind people are friendly and people gravitate to them, and people do gravitate to her because she has traits of someone that you would gravitate to. Like she listens well, she asks questions, she's caring, she's empathetic. And these are, she's fun. And these are all traits that people gravitate to. So it's not that I'm even mad at her for having these traits, because these are traits that I love about her and that made me fall in love with her. And it's more so about what happened to me as a child, where I wasn't prioritized. And realizing that she can do both, that she can be friendly, she can give somebody else her attention and time, and still also be prioritizing me at the moment. And doing one doesn't mean that the other is being taken away from me.
Ooh, how does that make you feel, Jamilah, to know that this is the route he's going to take with this instead of projecting?
It makes me feel grateful, because he has the ability to examine the entire scope of the initial statement.
Yes, love that. Oh my God, what if all men did this and all women?
Yeah, I thought about that too. Like, wow, if we all had this, we could escape so many things. Because one of the things that puts pressure on my mind, since we got engaged, was thinking, oh, is it gonna be like this forever? Am I gonna be uncomfortable forever? Am I gonna be upset forever? Before we got engaged, I was just like, okay, that's annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. And it really wasn't. But now that once we got engaged, I started thinking about the things that aren't that big of a deal and thinking like, oh, is this gonna be not that big of a deal forever? In 10 years, it's gonna go from not that big of a deal to really being like sitting on my chest.
Oh, is that what you're feeling?
Yeah. So now that I have this understanding, I have one less thing that's on my mind, that's weighing on me, one less worry and one less pressure on the relationship. And I feel like as time goes on, if this thing sits there and weighs there, then every time I see her being friendly, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and build up to a place that it never had to be. And the whole time, it was never Mila's fault in the first place. It was my mom's.
So deep. That is so deep. And then it's not even really your mom's fault per se. It's the experience you had conditioned you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Now, so that gives you hope to actually get married, because that's what everybody think is now. I don't need a relationship. Why get married? I'm not dealing with no, because they're like, I don't want to be uncomfortable like this. Like, she's triggering me and she won't stop.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Welcome to life.
Good.
Welcome to life.
Yes, but life without the tool, it is almost impossible to deal with being triggered like that every day. And I think that we're taught that they really should change. If they love you, they will stop doing that.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of men, and help me with this, Jamilah, because you talk to a lot of people with your podcast. And tell them about your podcast. We always got to talk about y'all podcast on here.
I have a podcast called Good Moms Bad Choices, and I also have a podcast with my love here called A Love Like This. And we're doing a lot of talking about a lot of shit, mom shit, women shit, growth, evolution, and Orlando and I are talking about just the discovery of healthy ways to have a healthy relationship.
Wonderful. Love it. So when you think about what's happening online and people feel this gender war, I just don't think it's a gender war. I think it's a pulling away from systems that don't work so that we can find systems that do. Because I'm not in a gender war. I just haven't been for 20 years. I'm like, what is everybody fighting about? I'm looking at myself in my partner.
Yeah.
I like men.
Yeah. I like myself. So I like everybody around me because they're my reflection. Right? Uh-oh. Was that too far?
No, I'm tired of the gender wars. And I also feel like it's like, it's a breaking away from like archaic stereotype, like these archaic stereotypes that we've been socialized and conditioned to believe. And I think we're also like at the brink of it where people are starting to wake up. And so, like I said, the patriarchy is shifting, and it's harder for them to let go because they've been privileged from it. They've been, when you've afforded the privilege of the system, it's harder to release it. It's harder to fuck these bitches, they're hoes, they want to fucking suck, and so do I, but that's not the point.
Right.
Because that's what you've been conditioned to believe for so long. So I do think like it seems like it's men hate women because a little bit they do, but eventually the new belief systems are going to come in, and they're going to see that partnership is way more productive than ownership.
Right. Partnership is way more productive and effective than ownership, everyone. I love that. So you got a countervent. I hope I didn't talk you off the ledge of feeling your feelings about what he said.
No, I have a little something to say.
Good. But I was going to say, being talked off the ledge, now that you know about processing, it talks you off the ledge of real heavy vents, doesn't it? Because you're thinking and knowing.
I already started processing before I've had the event.
There you are. But we're not going to do that because that's called bypassing. So let's get into the vent.
Do you have space for me to vent?
Yes.
Okay, I'm at a 4.
Okay.
This is my ego speaking. Maybe some of my animal. No one's done anything wrong. But based on the things that you said, I realized that statement triggers.
Can you take notes? Take notes.
That statement triggers the fuck out of me because I've been told by other insecure relationships that I'm too friendly. I'm too friendly. I'm too friendly. And when fucking world has friendly ever been a negative fucking attribute? You want a bitch? You want a fucking non-friendly bitch? You want an evil bitch? I don't know what kind of bitch you want, but one of the things I can agree that I could probably have more discernment, and I know that I've learned that this last year in the friendships that I've been I've allowed in our space. But I also feel like this is my superpower. This is who I am. This is deeply ingrained in who I am because this is a part of my purpose. People do gravitate towards me easily because this is a part of my messaging. This is how I relate to the world, and this is what gives me energy. I really would like you to take some time to reflect on the fact that, nigga, you are very fucking friendly too. And I think that we are actually like, the dynamic of our friendships right now is, you live in a city where I'm from. All of my friends are here. Your friends are somewhere else. So you're living a little bit, you've plopped yourself out of your world into mine. And I have a lot of female friends, and I share you with a lot of those friends, as I would love you to. I want you to be the man in our tribe. I want people to depend on you. I want people to feel comfortable with you and come, have advice from you, spend time with you. That is something that I do enjoy. However, if we're talking about being friendly and shit, you're very friendly, specifically to all my friends. You're everybody's boyfriend, and that is annoying sometimes. However, I recognize that this is a part of who you are, and this is part of the reason that I love you. And the part of the reason we get along so well is because we're both friendly fucking people. I don't know if you've ever dated a mean ass bitch, but I've dated a mean ass man, and it was not fun. People wanted to come over. He's acting like a dick. He's in the back room. I don't even know why. What's the problem? We mesh on the fact that we are people. Our house is a safe haven for our friends and for our people. People feel comfortable coming to us individually or together, and that's a blessing. And I really would like you to recognize that before attacking my character and saying the thing you hate most about me is my friendliness. I think you should be more intentional with your words. And I think that it's a projection because I do give you a lot of attention. That's it.
Thank you for venting. How may I soothe you?
Can you give me a simulation?
Sure. What would you like me to simulate?
I would like you to say, Mila, I love how friendly you are. actually, your friendliness is what brought me here. This is why I'm here, because you're so friendly. And I love the way you love your community and your friends and the way you love me. And I recognize how much attention you give me while being friendly. Despite the fact that you might have made 2 bad friendship decisions in the last 6 months. Actually, the last 3 years, just 2 bad friendship decisions. And you were on board. I didn't force you to be, on any of those friendships. Go.
Well, Mila, I gotta let you know, I love your friendliness. Honestly, that's the reason why I moved all the way across the country from New York to LA, because you were friendly. You were friendly to me, and I loved it. You also allowed me to be friends with your friends, your group of friends in LA, and even titled me the tribe husband because you want me to be as friendly as you are, because you lived with some assholes before, and they're mean. You don't like mean people. Um, I mean, you've only had 2 bad friendships that pop up in the last 3 years, but who's really counting? Then that's not really important, because think about the plethora of all the other good relationships that we've had within those years, and that's amazing. And honestly, I was on board for those bad friendships too. So you're not even at fault to blame it. I mean, partially, and it could be my fault also, because I be cooking for everybody and making them feel welcome and coming to our safe haven, making them feel friendly. So I'd be on board with on the friendly ship. So I just want to let you know that yes, you're not alone. It's my fault as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What level are you at now?
I'm at a 1.
Okay. Is there anywhere else that I can soothe you right now?
Yeah, can you I mean, I'm sure you've been called friendly in some of your relationships from your ex bitches. Can you give me some empathy about the statement that you just made?
Of course, I can give you empathy. Mila, I empathize with you being called too friendly, and things like that. I understand how you may feel, getting that from not only from a stranger, but even from somebody that you love. I've also been told in my past relationships that I am too friendly and or very flirtatious. So, and all the time I thought I was very safe and platonic and just being nice, and it was taken another way that I wasn't trying to put off, or wasn't my intentions. So yeah, once again, I understand where you're coming from, with hearing the words too friendly and how it could be triggering.
Especially as a woman.
Especially as a woman, and how it can just come off based on, coming from men,
And how friendly it can be synonymous with her.
and how friendly can I understand how friendly, you taking it as friendly could be synonymous with a hoe, because then mean it that with that kind of intention. So I empathize with you. I can see how it could be taken the wrong way. And I've also been in those positions, and it's been uncomfortable to hear that when that is not even my intention. So I empathize with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What
Does
level
that support you at all?
does that support you at all?
Yes.
What level did that bring you to?
I'm at a 1.
You're at a 1? Okay, how
She's
else?
still at a 1. She was at a 1 before. That
Oh.
didn't.
Can you give me a kiss?
I can give you a kiss. You're welcome. How does that support you?
It supports me a lot. I'm at a 0.
It's very
All
good.
right. Well, let's process that little trigger poo. We like that one. I understand. Ew, we have such triggers around being called anywhere near a hole, don't we?
And the fact that friendly, I know that friendly is synonymous for being a hoe. The trauma that I have that's what men do.
Yeah. So y'all were sharing a sheet here?
Yeah, I'll make my own though.
Okay. So let's have your trigger.
Wait, go back up. What did I write there? I have it here, Jameson.
You already have it?
I have J, leaving without announcing, unfairness, okay, I like imbalance, unfairness. I don't like that. I don't like for someone to ask something of me that they don't expect of themselves.
Okay, but let's specifically do a different trigger here. The trigger is let's do the hoe. I don't like being called anything that might even insinuate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially when it's behaviors that I see that you possess.
Oh, I was talking about the whole thing.
Yeah. I get
Trigger.
okay.
We're gonna go
But,
on trigger.
okay, that's my trigger. You're right.
Yeah. And I want to dig into a hard one. I'm doing this on purpose because I know you can do that. All right. So let's find out, is that a pattern, a proclivity, or a potential?
Peer pattern and a proclivity.
Are you calling me a hoe?
No.
Is that a proclivity? I'm tricking when you call me a hoe because I'm a hoe.
I get to do it.
No.
No, I'm doing it from my perspective.
Okay.
Yes, she's doing it from her. Orlando, she's gonna think about this.
Hush.
I'm trying to understand.
Trying to process for her.
Uh, I think it's a pattern.
Okay. So when is the first time you felt triggered around that concept?
Maybe I think growing up, just being called fast because I wanted to wear makeup. I had cleavage. I was a sensual young lady because I'm a sensual adult woman and I'm a woman. So I think growing up, hearing my grandma call me fast, asking about my outfit selections, and just people in my community make comments even as like a young girl.
Yeah, that must have been really painful. Why were they so uptight?
I don't know because they're black. That's
Oh, of
I think that's
course.
I think that's cultural.
Yeah.
And also I think Christianity, my grandma's a Christian, and just systematically what we've been told is this equals this in the black community specifically. Because my
Yeah.
white parents were outside wearing glitter and makeup and their parents weren't calling them hoes.
Yeah, that's so true. And it wasn't fair because we would be going looking all homely and they would be, oh, it's 13, we're 15, we can wear this, Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing fucking stockings.
Yes, stockings was a no-no. That was some off. Like you don't need stockings, but you could wear tights.
Right.
Oh, that was the worst. So this pattern, this is a pain living within you. You realize that. And it's an app running that you're going to always call that to you because you haven't cleared your register. You really believe what your grandma said. If you didn't, it wouldn't bother you, right?
Yeah, I guess. I think I'm good at suppressing, so I don't feel like it bothered me. But obviously, if in my 30s or in my 20s, a man is making comments and it triggers me to that extent. Yeah.
Yeah. You never discredited her and credited yourself. You're still in a shame loop with that that she started, right?
Yeah.
So, what are some remedies?
I think, oh, like the ones we've gone over, or just the ones.
There's millions of remedies. I have two, the EFT and the lacing that we do in the club.
Yeah, I think EFT. I think also just empowering my daughter, doing it differently.
Yeah.
One time
Change.
my dad was at my house. My daughter was like 6 and he came over and her and her friend were wearing like my shoes. They're in the house, walking around the shoes because they're emulating what they see. And my dad was like, take that off. You look like a little hoochie or a little hood rat. And I was like, why the fuck would you call these 6-year-olds fucking hoochies? And
Oh
he just
my
made
God.
this big deal. And at the time he was like in my house using my key. And I was like, yo, you gotta go. You gotta get out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like whatever way we went about this when I was 6 is not what's about to happen here. I don't appreciate that. You got to go. And it was painful. And I made him give me my key back to do because I feel like there's also this in debt to your parents to always show up for them because they fed you and you are alive. However, I think that was me shifting the trajectory of how my boundaries and what my daughter's experience was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to find another word for boundaries, but I love that you said that. It's just saying, like, that's not where I live.
Yeah.
I don't live in the dimension you live in. So please don't bring that dimension here. However, at some point, you're going to be like, I don't care what dimension you bring here. Like, I live in the 5th dimension and I can educate you on that. Like, it doesn't trigger me.
So you're like so angry.
Yeah. It wouldn't even trigger you. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, we live on a whole nother planet. There's nothing wrong with, look, you guys look great. These guys are just old fogies. They still on the old program. It's like funny. But that's not until you really let that little girl, she's the one inside of you, like, nobody's gonna do that, it's just like
Defending myself now that I can, now that I'm an adult, now I can say something, but I'm still probably coming from that space of being 11 or 12 or whatever.
11 or 12, but grown, and now you can say it. But it's really actually nothing. Like, it was a lie from the first place.
Right.
Yeah. So,
am I gonna react that strongly to something that I know is a lie? Like, no, I don't.
right. If I said you got green scales, what would you think? Nothing.
Sometimes when I'm a snake, no.
Right. So that's where you want to get to. You see that difference? Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, I am so proud. We are at the end of our 45-minute session. For y'all to sit and stay after a 1.5-hour class is beautiful. Everybody watching, this is Divoce-Proof Club. I do it every 3 months. We enroll again for August. I'll put the link in the bio. And if you want to do this on YouTube, instead of coming to my club and paying the price to be in my club, you can do it. I love taking people on YouTube and doing live. Like, I'll coach anybody. You bring the worst case to me, Jamilah, for real.
Okay.
Got you.
For real.
I advocate for this, guys. So you need to advocate for yourselves too.
All right. Thank you so much for presenting Divoce-Proof Club work here on YouTube. And I will see everybody next week. Good night.